Hi folks, welcome back to Dragon Quest XI. We're going to actually get on with an interesting dungeon today known as the Royal Library. I'm going to guide you through it and show you how to collect all the treasures and get through without too much heartache. Can be a bit confusing, but hopefully my guide will help. Before we do that, let's go through the initial cutscene today as we leave the cabin here.
Ah, so you are finally awake. Are you feeling better, friend? Good, good. You have your companions to thank for that. Such caring comrades are a rare gift. But forgive me, I have not introduced myself. I am Snorri, scholar of the arcane arts. I came here to investigate the origins of the Wicked Witch who froze Sniffelheim solid. It was luck, and luck alone, that caused me to be away from the city when she first appeared, or I too would have been turned into an icy statue. Your friends tell me the Queen has asked you to eliminate the sorceress. If it will help you in your quest, I will be happy to share what I have learned. The witch's name is Kristalinda. Long ago, in the Age of Heroes, a mighty mage imprisoned her within the pages of an enchanted grimoire. The book was hidden away safely in the Royal Library, an ancient archive built by the founders of Sniffelheim to house the combined knowledge of all humankind. Having learned this, I tried to go and see the book for myself. Alas, the library was swarming with monsters, and I was forced to retreat.
Oh, hello. Up and about, are you? Thank goodness for that.
Indeed. You are well on the way to recovery thanks to your young friend here. It is plain to see that Veronica cares for you very deeply.
Put a sock in it, Snorri.
There is no need to be embarrassed, my dear. Anyway, your timing is perfect. I had just finished telling your friend all I had learned about the witch.
I'll get straight to the point then. We're taking Snorri here back to the library so he can look for clues on how to beat her.
It is high on a plateau to the east of here, but we must make our way around to the south before we can reach it. Shall we?
Now we have our instructions then from Snorri. So we're going to go ahead, leave the cabin and make our way to our next destination, which, as I mentioned, is the aforementioned Royal Library. So what I recommend, because the library is actually not that far from our current position, you can see on the map there, just a little bit over to the east. But it is up on a cliff edge, so we can't just make our way there to the east, unfortunately. I recommend what you want to do is just grab a mount from the nearby bell here. And the path that we need to take is one of south and then up north again. So just stay down the western side of the area here as you gallop south. And it doesn't take too long, as I say, if you want to mount. You can even bump into some of these smaller enemies and you'll knock them out of the way. Just watch out for the big ones if you want to save time though. And once you get to this location here, just head across to the east and then start making your way north again. Just be careful because you can fall off the cliff there and you would have to come back to this location once more if you did that. And eventually you're going to come to this bridge. And this is the bridge that's going to lead us to our destination, to the Royal Library. So once you've crossed it, we just need to dismount it and head inside. And this is where the confusion shall commence. But I have made sure to practice this area, reload my game. I know what I'm doing, I know how to get all of the treasures. So I'm going to guide you through the entire process. And hopefully you'll come out, you know, without having to scratch your head too much during. So here we go, the Royal Library. Okay, so you can see the map itself doesn't look that confusing. But that's because it doesn't really show you the mechanics that are in place here. We're going to start by heading north, and you'll see there's an opening between these bookcases here at the top of the map. And if we just head in here and head over to the right, we'll be able to grab our first treasure chest, which is quite a respectable 4,000 gold coins. And as I mentioned, I am going to show you how to get all of these treasures in this place before we leave. So once you've gone ahead and grabbed that, we're going to just exit that room there between those two bookcases, and just to the side of it, if you head behind the counter, you'll see there's this slime. You don't have to speak to the slime, but you can do, because he does give you some advice on just how this puzzle around the library actually works. And basically, there's going to be buttons all over the place. You can see one just in the background of the screen there, that green orb ball thing. And by activating those buttons, we can adjust the layout of the various rooms and floors so as to access parts we couldn't previously. I know it sounds a bit confusing, but hey, that's what I'm here for, to show you how to do this. I don't know, actually, it kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the Cloister of Trials from Final Fantasy X. Anyway, once you've gone ahead and activated that first switch there, that first green switch, we're going to come back out of that area and head to the southeast of the same floor, where our second switch shall await us. And as you can see, that's going to shimmy these bookcases around, giving us access to these stairs now that are going to lead us up to the next floor. So literally where that switch was, you'll want to cross through those bookcases and head up. And floor 2 is not quite as complicated, in my opinion, as some of the floors that we're going to have to encounter later on, but we do have to kind of traverse them back and forth. So all we want to do on floor 2 is head across the nearby bridge. That'll bring us to the centre of the room, and we're just going to go ahead and cross completely over to the other side, to the western part of the floor. And then we're going to head south, and this will lead us to another treasure chest. So I'll just skip out the enemy fights. And in this treasure chest we have some Saints' Ashes. Okay, so there's no sparkly points in this area, only treasure chests. Once we've grabbed that, we're going to go past the bridge this time, continuing to head north. And we'll find another switch, which when activated will give us access to the next floor, to level 3. There we go. And as you can see, that will actually raise half of the bridge that we just crossed previously. So we're going to go to the lower part of that bridge once more so that we can actually get onto it. That's over at the western part of the floor here of level 2. And then we're just going to cross it all the way to the other side. Now as we head up, we're going to see a new enemy type. And if you've been defeating all the enemies here in order to complete your bestiary, then you'll want to defeat this one. It's none of those. It was actually that dragon, that green dragon that we saw. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and show you my monster list here so you can match it up with your own if you're missing anything. Since anything you're missing will be in question marks, and yes, will be in the same order as mine, so you can see which enemies you need to kill. Okay, the liquid metal slime is one of them, unfortunately, which can be quite elusive. But you can also summon that with the pet power electrolyte as well, don't forget. Okay, and just on the bookcase here, we have a recipe book, in fact, with some witches' hats and wizard stuff as well. And speaking of recipe books, there's actually another one located not too far from here. We're going to head towards the south and then over to the western part of level 3. And if we head into this area here, I'll try and avoid this guy for now, we can see that that second recipe book is located just on the bookshelf to the south of this little nook on the western part of the floor here. An Anthology of Elemental Earrings is the name of that particular recipe book. So once you've added that to your collection, you're going to want to head over to the southeast section of this floor next. And that should give us a location to, or accessible location to level 4. Yep, so this space here in between the bookcases is where we want to run through. And there we go, level 4 is just up here. Now there's going to be some beams introduced on level 4. You can see around the map those thin areas. You can't fall off the beams as far as I'm aware, so don't try and be too cautious, just run across them. That's absolutely fine. And there's a chest here, but be cautious, it's a mimic. Now the mimic itself is a little bit tougher than some of the regular enemies, as you would expect from the mimics we've already fought in the game. So I would recommend just making sure that everybody is set up to follow orders for this fight. And that thwack ability can be really nasty, but it usually misses, as you saw there, so don't worry too much about that. Just basically hit this thing with your most damaging abilities. Thunder Thrust is a good one, although it can miss, of course. and also Unbridled Blade from the hero is very, very powerful indeed as well. So the Mimic has 720 health, meaning 2 or 3 big attacks should be enough to see it off. Okay, just as I say, just be cautious because of some of its abilities that it does tend to hit with. They can be quite painful. Let's try Thunder Thrust once more here. Yeah, there we go. And there it is. So yeah, your big abilities will make good work of that thing. And your reward for killing the Mimic is a fairly useful Seed of Skill. Not too shabby at all. Right, after defeating the Mimic, we're going to continue on this floor by heading north. And as we just head around here, eventually, across this beam, we'll see another treasure chest. This one, fortunately, isn't a Mimic. Although you do have to pay attention, some of those statues like to hide where you can't see them easily and then jump out at you. But this treasure chest contains a Mercury's bandana. And now we're going to head over to the centre of the room. You can see there's a bridge leading there from the western side. And there's not much to do here except hit this switch. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And that's once again going to alter the bookshelves. But this time, it will be on the ones on the previous floor, not the current floor. So obviously that's a big hint. We're going back down to the previous floor at this point. Okay, there's the stairs. And so now we're back on level 3. And we're going to start by heading north. We can now access the switch. That's just a little bit further up here. There it is. And with that switch activated, the rooms are going to reorganise once more, as you'd expect. And now we're going to head back down to level 2. So fortunately the stairs to do so are going to be very close to us. And if we head across here, then that's a treasure chest we've already collected. But we'll just keep heading around here, making our way over to the northern area. Try and avoid these enemies as we go. And if we head over to the eastern part, the northern eastern part rather, of this floor, then we're going to head back up the stairs to level 3 from this location. As I warned folks, it's all very confusing, but hey, we're nearly there now. And from here we can actually head back across this bridge, only this time to the hidden room that Snorri has been looking for. Well, we've gone ahead and found it, so let's see what unfolds in this place.
Aha! This should be very useful indeed. It is the great mage's account of how he imprisoned the witch in the grimoire. Let's see now. The magic of the sorceress was passing strong. Even with all my energies, I could neither conquer nor constrain her. And so I did conspire with the great enchanted beast, that by its incorporation of a piece of the witch's magic, I might by my small strength subdue her. Thereupon was the witch imprisoned in a book, and laid to rest in the Royal Library of Sniffelheim. As for the beast, it haunteth the nearby Hexwood to this day. I see. So, even the greatest mage of the Age of Heroes needed the help of a magical creature to seal the witch away.
A great enchanted beast? Well, you certainly met one of those in a hexwood. That thing that was supposed to be the witch's pet.
Oh? Tell me, what did this creature look like? A rounded white body with a golden mane. 2 pointed tusks jutting from an enormous jaw. How can you have been so foolish? The monster you defeated was the very same one that kept a part of the witch's powers sealed away.
his fault. Queen Frizzabelle told us it was on the witch's side. She said it guarded her against intruders.
Is this true? But why would Her Majesty say such a thing?
Hold on. I'm sure I've seen that symbol somewhere before. Wasn't it on the front of the book the Queen was reading when we first met her?
This? Why, this is the Sorcerer's Seal. It is a ward placed on all the forbidden books of the Great Library.
Which means that book the Queen was reading was forbidden. Wait, what if it was the book the witch was sealed away in? What if... Oh no! We need to go back to Sniffleheim and talk to the Queen. I've got a feeling there's some funny business afoot.
After the cutscene then, guys, don't go rushing back to Sniffleheim just yet. We do need to do so in terms of the story, but that can, you know, it can wait for just a few moments here as we continue looting the rest of this library. We may as well get it all done while we're here. So turn around and you'll see a switch, which we're going to go ahead and activate in the hidden room here. And now we're going to once again head on to the central bridge. And from here we're going to head south and start making our way from south over to the western part of the room, where some new bookcases would have opened up for us. And this is going to contain our next item. So just over here, this is an ethereal stone. Okay, well done guys, almost there now. We'll go ahead and leave this particular area, and there should be some stairs fairly close by. Yep, just over here. And these will take us back down to level 2. Right then, so back on level 2. There's one more item we can make our way to. I'll go ahead and kill the enemies first, I guess. I was going to follow the area around and through these bookcases here. And if we just head down these stairs, it'll take us to level 1, but we can't actually access level 1 properly from here. However, we can access this particular treasure chest. Oh, we can access level 1. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. All we wanted was the treasure chest. And that's it, guys. The library has been looted, and we've done everything we need to do in terms of the story as well. Which means we can go ahead and zoom out of this place. And I recommend zooming to Sniffleheim City, to the campsite. So this is very close to our destination, and will allow us to rest up and save up before we go ahead and move on. Alright then folks, well I hope the guide's been helpful to you. If it has, please don't forget to leave a like and be subscribed to my YouTube channel if you're not already, and come back and join me again soon as we continue on with more Dragon Quest XI. But thanks for stopping by today folks, I'm going to take a break now, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.